Y'all know what it is. Kansas City, stand up, boy. Let's go. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. The truth. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. Y'all can get the best from that KC journalist. Let's go.
In 2009, Jovan Belcher came to the Kansas City Chiefs as an undrafted free agent. He played from 2009 to 2012. Statistically, 2011 was his best year, but he was definitely a growing prospect. He moved to Kansas City, Missouri with his girlfriend Cassandra and had a baby daughter. But there was always reports of domestic issues and tension and jealousy and fighting in the house, so his mother moved in to help try to keep the peace and help with the daughter. But everything went left from there. And we are now here at the Hamilton Apartments. The night before this happened, Jovan came up here and sat in this parking lot. The cops were called. They said that he was looking suspicious. The cops came and stopped him. He tried to leave. Eventually, he called the woman. They say her name was Brittany Glass. She came and let him in. He spent the night with her from 2:30 to 6:30. He left at 6:30 in the morning. He went back to his house, and that's where he killed his wife. And then he went to Arrowhead Stadium. But this is where he spent the last night. He ended up killing himself that morning. Witnesses say that he left Brittany's house at 6:30. So after he left Brittany's house, then he headed home. He went to his house on Chrysler Ave and allegedly started fighting with Cassandra. And here we are at the former house of Jovan Belcher on Chrysler. It's this house right here. He left his side chick's apartment, came home at 7:30 in the morning. He left there at 6:30, got here at 7:30 in the morning, killed his wife in the upstairs bathroom of this house. Told his mom he was sorry and kissed his daughter and left. His mother witnessed it all. His mother actually called 911. It's kind of a moderate house. This isn't really a house that I'd expect the NFL player to be living in. But this is the street right here. The former house of Jovan Belcher. So after he kills his wife, he comes up here. This is as close as I could get. Security wouldn't let me near the practice facility or anywhere on the property. So I kind of got to shoot it from out here in the parking lot. But he comes up here. When he comes up here, he runs into Scott Pioli. And he tells him thank you and everything. And then he asks to speak to Romeo Crennel. Security originally didn't want Romeo Crennel to come out, but Romeo Crennel said that he wanted to talk to him, and he came out. He tried to talk him out of it. He thanked Romeo Crennel for everything. Romeo Crennel yelled at him and said, "You're taking the easy way out." He lowered his gun for a while. He calmed down, but then he cocked it out of nowhere. He walked over to a car, knelt down. He crossed his head and his chest with his left hand. Then he put the gun to the right side of his head and he shot himself. Police immediately respond to the stadium. They find Jovan Belcher's body. He allegedly used 2 licensed handguns in the assaults. They towed his car away. And then word started hitting the press. It spread like hot fire all through the news. And here we are on December 5th, 2012. They had the memorial service right here at the Landmark Church for Jovan Belcher. It was a private service. The Chiefs attended. The public wasn't allowed in. After that, his body got shipped back to New York, which he's buried in New York, but this is where they had his service. 8701 Sneha Bar Road. After the memorial, Belcher's body was loaded up and it was shipped back to New York, which is where he ended up being buried. So he was buried for a year. His family requested that they exhume him and check his brain for concussions for CTE. So after a year, they digged him up, and it turns out that he did show signs of CTE and brain damage. And that's likely the cause of what made him go crazy and do what he did. And now he is buried in New York. This is a picture of his grave. Rest in peace, Jovan.
Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. The truth. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. And you know, get the best from that KC journalist. Let's go!